Morning everyone. Monday morning, 10 to 9. I'm about to start sanding the yellow spots on the floor, and then I'm going to try to masquerade them with a similar color paint, and after that paint has cured I will seal them off with a non-visible coating. Really, that coating works really well. I tried it out on 2 tiles. Water doesn't penetrate, doesn't go into the tile anymore. The tiles are really dry. I've had the floor heating, underfloor heating on the whole weekend, so they're not going to be any more dry than this. So I'm thinking that I see the maximum of the yellow spots. Huh? Remember, those yellow spots were not visible when the tiles are wet or humid. They're only visible when the tiles become dry. Now, there have been a whole lot of suggestions by you after the last video about how to tackle that, and I think the best one was from someone who said put some clear coat on it, like some sort of a varnish, a matte varnish. I was thinking, yeah, that could sort of mimic the effect that the humidity has on the tile, possibly, and thereby let the yellow stain disappear, and then maybe that could work. But you know what, I honestly don't have the time to do a whole lot of research. There was another suggestion: use acetone. That's a good one. That would probably dissolve the stain, but then the paint goes inside the tile. It's all the way through. So I think at this moment, given the fact that I don't have too much time, I want to do the grouting, I want to put the kitchen block in, I want to put a fridge in, I want to put furniture in. I think the best way is just to remove as much of the yellow stain as is possible with the sander, and then seal the tile with a coating, seal the yellow stain with a paint coating, which I try to bring up to the color of the tile. Don't know whether I'm going to paint the whole tile or just part of the tile. I don't know how yet. I will practice a little bit later. I just inspected on the little stove, and the super glue with which I glued this part on doesn't seem to be so super at all, because it just came off, the whole part. Well, it just came off, it was off. I don't understand why, really. It seems that it hasn't really adhered to this cast iron part, and it must be because there's a coating, a black coating on this part. Don't know whether you can see. Yeah. Yeah, obviously that's a coating to prevent the cast iron from rusting. I did scuff it up, I did sand it, but apparently that's not enough. I should really wire brush it hard with a wire brush on the drill, or use a sanding machine and probably some acetone, and just get it to really bare steel. I do have another glue as well, also for chimneys, for fire stoves. Maybe this one has gone off, because the guy who gave it to me, the seller of the chimney, he said that he never uses it. He gave it to me for free. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this glue off. I'm gonna have to really clean this to bare steel, probably with an angle grinder even. Yeah, and then I'm gonna try the other glue. Okay, so yeah, all these processes, they take days, not in the amount of work, but in the amount of curing time. The weather is now, what is it, 13, 15, maybe a peak of 20 degrees centigrade today, and paints, glues and sealants just don't cure that fast anymore. So that's why it takes time. But then, you know, I did test out the floor heating, the underfloor heating, and accidentally it went up really high and it got really hot in here. So I'm not too fussed about not immediately being able to use the fire stove, although I would love to fire it up. Right, this is another little project for today then. Yeah, okay, cool. Just to give you an impression on the paint pigment I bought. You have a look at the colors, but see whether they match the tile. I think I gotta try to get to this this second color. I think that becomes pretty close. So yeah, and all the tiles have a different color. Actually, when I sand the tiles, they become like this peachy color. Yeah, that actually comes quite close to the second. Maybe I'll need to add a drop of red in there, which I have. Yeah. And just to give you another impression on these stains, I'll take you up close. These are the stains. They're bad. You see, it's really, I think, yeah, it's really something like a paint. So yeah, some of you suggested don't worry about the stains, but I do worry about the stains because they really look out of place. It's not part of the natural product. It is, you know, a stain from a paint or so. So yeah, I'm going to start sanding, and then we'll do some artwork. See you later. I'm gonna have it fading in with the rest of the tile. I don't want to paint the whole tile, you know, because then everything gets a uniform color again. I don't really want that. Well, I haven't been to art school, but you wouldn't say it, huh? I think I could do a little bit more brown in there. Yeah, I could do it a little bit more brown. So far, this looks quite promising. That doesn't look too bad at all. Now, I must say this looks really promising. You can see the tiles that I've done. If you don't know what has happened, you wouldn't see it. I've made two new batches of paint, one a little bit darker than the other, so I can mix a little bit in, so that it becomes even more natural. It looks very promising, but the proof in the pudding is obviously after it has fully cured the paint and I have applied that sealant on it. I really don't think I don't think that yellow is coming back. No, I don't think so. So I've done the whole floor. I mixed up 2 batches of the color that I saw in the tiles, and I've sort of layered them, mixed them on the tile to get a non-uniform effect. These tiles here are dry and they look pretty good, but then, you know, if I would just wet the floor, it would also look really good because the yellow would be gone. But anyway, I'm assuming that that the yellow is gone because I've done a little bit of a test with this paint on a tile that I have spare, and that sealed off the yellow spot really well. It wasn't even sanded. I've sanded all these spots and I've covered them with paint, and I'm gonna apply the sealant now. I've got the floor heating on 23 degrees, so that should all dry pretty quick. It's all water based, so yeah, it's not too bad. Have a look. That corner is still wet. I did that last. Yeah, and the colors, they fade well into it, I must say. I'm pretty happy with the result so far. But that is if the stains don't come back, and I can only know that for sure in a couple of days probably. But for now I'm assuming that that we're good. Yeah, I'm gonna start applying that sealant. Good morning, it's Tuesday morning, and looking at the tiles, and they look pretty good. They look really good actually. They look actually exactly as I would like them to be looking. Yeah, have a look. So you clearly see the differences in color in the tiles, and that's what I like. I have blended 2 different colors of paint that I mixed, and I've tapped them on the tiles. It still looks yeah, fairly natural. And sometimes it's really hard to see where I've actually painted and where not. I was applying a coating of this well, sealant, which is water thin, transparent, leaves a matte finish, and only when I was doing that I could see where I have painted, because the non-painted part of the tile soaks up this sealant really quick, and on the painted tile it doesn't penetrate in it. It sits on top and it dries on top. So yeah, in some places I couldn't see where I exactly had painted. So maybe there's a job opening for me at the Louvre as an art restorer, or so might have found a new career. No, I'm really pleased. This is I'm really pleased with the result, but I'm also really pleased that I didn't waste too much time on R&D and trying to figure out how to get rid of that yellow. That yellow was a really thick paint-like substance. It was laying on top of the tile. It had a sort of a glossy finish. When I would sand the top off, you would see that the color would have penetrated into the more porous part of the inside of the tile. Yeah, so that was just the way to tackle it, you know, sanding the top off and then sealing the tile off with paint, which is matched with the color of the tile. And then on top, yeah, this sealant. So this sealant will help me now to protect the tiles from when I start to do the grouting. I can actually wash the tile off and rub excess grouting off the tile without damaging it or staining it. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna empty the lot. That beanbag needs to go up in the loft. That little guy needs to find another place. And then we'll start to make up a batch of grout. It's gonna be a white grout. It's an elastic grout. It says on the package it's suitable for underfloor heating. That's really important. And then put on the knee pads, and we're gonna apply the grout. And that would be really cool, because once that grout is done and set, then I can move in a kitchen block, I can move in a fridge, I can actually really start decorating the lot. I can make the sideboards, or what do you call them? Skirting board, kicking boards, the ones that sit on the floor in front of the wall. That sort of stuff, all kinds of finishing. I need to finish the window frames, and I have waited with it because you could always have paint falling on the floor, but in this case now it's sealed, and I will apply another sealant coat after the grouting. Then you can just wipe it off, and the tiles are protected. So yeah, let's get on with the job. Want to have this done before the afternoon, because in the afternoon the déchetterie, the tip, is opening, and I need to bring another large load of rubble and rubbish to the tip, because from tomorrow on I should really start digging that big heap up and removing it, because I need to free up the backside of that wall in order to install a drain for the kitchen block, and also because that wall needs to dry out, and it can't with that heap in the back. As you've seen in other videos, and as you will see later. Alright, let's stop rambling on and carry on with the job, otherwise it never gets done. Bye. Yeah, the piping bag didn't really work, and it was not about the piping, well, it was about the piping bag. The piping bag was just not holding up. It was way too small. If I had a more professional, larger one, it would have worked. So I'm doing it just the traditional way, I guess. This is the way I've done grouting before. The only difference is that the grouting I've done before was with tiles that were glazed. So the excess grout would come really come off real easily. And with these tiles have to be a bit more vigilant. Otherwise I'm left with a white sheen. Wednesday morning. Now the grouting has been in since the last bit I did around 2 o'clock yesterday. Yeah, the packaging says that it needs to be curing for 24 hours, but it's my house, I'll make up the rules here. But it looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm quite happy with the result. I'm quite happy with how the tiles look now. Yeah, I'm going to give the tiles one more good mop down to get that white sheen off the tiles from the grouting. And then I'm going to let it dry, and I'm going to treat it with one more coat of that clear sealant, the whole floor. I still got to do some edging. Yeah. With grouting material, but that won't stop me moving stuff in. And then I was going to do the kitchen block, but it doesn't make sense to start doing that now because I haven't got all the parts yet. I'm going to start with installing a door here. There needs to be a door to keep dust from coming in, and also to keep the heat in the small house. I've got an old door that was already installed there where the kitchen is going to be, and the living room. I'm just gonna strip it of paint, clean it, and give it a fresh coat of white paint. I've got a quick drying white paint, should be done by today. And then later I gotta make another run of rubble to the tip. The tip is only open half days, 5 days a week. I can do only one run a day, really. 5 runs a week. Got 9 tubs. Yeah, it's gonna take at least a week, maybe even 2 weeks to get rid of that whole heap of rubble. That must go because this wall needs to breathe, and also I gotta install a drain for the kitchen. So yeah, plenty of work to do. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Anyway, let's get started. So, oh, awful light. Yeah, that's better. Yep, we're gonna do this door. It's actually, it's not a bad looking door, and it's in reasonable condition. Yeah, wear and tear, but it's in reasonable condition, and it's worth doing up. So I'm gonna do the same as I done with the outside door. Hey, look at my fancy shower curtain. Oh, such a posh place. It's almost like a spa in here, like a health resort. God, luxury. Yeah, so I'm gonna do scraping, sanding, washing with this special stuff that I showed before that says painting without sanding. Well, I don't really believe in that, because you gotta create key for the paint to hold on to. And you don't achieve that by degreasing it. But anyway, I'll do that because there's some of these really difficult edges that I can't really sand without removing the shape of the wood. So in these instances we'll have to do with that washing but not sanding stuff. And then I'm gonna give it enough coats of white until we got a nice layer and we don't see any of that green shining through. So let's get started and get this door done and get the door installed. The door fits with some modifications, it fits, and that will keep the warmth in during the winter and keep the dust out from when I'm working here. Why is no one of you saying that I have to wear a mask? Because these old paints contain lead, you know. You guys don't really care about me, huh? You don't care about me as much as I care about you. Yeah, so this part is from the fire stove, and this is the part that I got because we're missing a connection. We're missing basically a part that fits in here, and then the chimney slots in there. Now the guy who supplied me the chimney, he said maybe this will work. It's basically a flange with a pipe, and I glued it on with this special glue that appeared too brittle. I mean, the whole thing fell apart. So I just wanted to have a mechanical connection between them and then the glue, you know, to seal off, but I want to have a firm connection, and because this is cast iron I can't weld it myself, and I've been looking around and I can't find anyone who can. Yeah, so I've decided, yeah, there's holes in here, screw holes. I've decided to drill holes in here and bolt it on and then seal it all off. And that should just work. Yeah, it's the first. I bought this thing 3 years ago. Yeah, because I thought maybe one day I'll need it. I haven't used it for 3 years. This is the first time I'm using it. So that proves that when you feel the need to buy a tool, you should always buy that tool. Because maybe one day you might need it. So you can tell that to your wife, and you can tell that I've said that, and then she will understand. So I've bolted the cast iron fitting on to the original cast iron fitting of the stove, and glued everything up. Now let it cure for 24 hours or maybe even longer, and then we're gonna fire it up, because I just got a phone call from the shop that my reducing part has arrived. That goes there. So yeah, with a bit of luck we could fire up the stove tomorrow and see how that goes. asks why I'm so skinny when she sees me after a while. Makita, hammer drill with vacuum cleaner system. It's fantastic. This is a vacuum cleaner part in here, all operated with the same battery as the drill, and the drill comes through here. This sits on the wall and you can hear it. Fantastic. So good.
Ça travaille dur, hein?
Ouais.
Il fait beau, on profite.
Merci. Ah, soleil, hein?
Oui.
Parfait.
Puis ça mange gauche, quoi. Bah oui. Mais ça a plu un peu. Oui, pas beaucoup,
Ouais.
hein. J'ai même pas arrosé mes fleurs, alors il a fallu les arroser. Bon courage!
Goedemorgen. So I have this morning removed the kitchen block from the camper van. It's an IKEA kitchen block, and everybody who knows IKEA stuff knows that it doesn't like to be moved, it doesn't like to be taken apart and put back together. Now this kitchen block has also on top of that done about 20,000 kilometers in a camper van. So it has suffered a lot. I have to reinforce it on every corner and every joint. Put extra brackets in to make it live another year or so, maybe 2 years. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered driving to IKEA and buying everything new. Just and I wanted to revamp the camper van anyway, and the kitchen block is just IKEA stuff is too heavy for a camper van. It just doesn't work. So yeah, cut the top. The top will be stained later. I've got a walnut oil that sort of gives it a little bit more color, maybe close to oak, I hope. Put the sink in. Gas burner I still have to order because I wasn't really sure of the width of the kitchen block. But yeah, I should be cooking here tonight. Oh god, I really hope so. I'm so looking forward cooking here. Monday they come to bring the fridge. Well, it's France, so the appointment is on Monday, but you don't know. But anyway, I've still got a fridge in the van. I couldn't bring the fridge in here because it's a 12-volt DC fridge, and I don't have a transformer here. So, but no biggie. God, I hope I get this finished today, and then I can Make a nice beef bourguignon tonight. That would be so cool. Hi babe. Hi. How are you? Yeah, I'm working on the drain right now.
Okay. Do you want to see where I am?
No, because I'm busy here, sweets. I'm laying under in my head in the kitchen cupboard, trying to get this done.
It's like being in Greece, we're in this little cove and the water's like crystal clear blue, green, like stones, and we're in this little restaurant.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, it was really good.
Okay, cool.
Are you plumbing yet? Are you doing plumbing?
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Do you want me to let you go?
Yeah, I want to finish this, sweets.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, talk later.
Okay, bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday morning, and I have had a beautiful beef bourguignon last night, cooked in the little house, and now I'm making a decent breakfast, a French breakfast with well, no, the French don't really eat breakfast, but I'm eating the boudin noir, which is the French variety of the blood sausage, probably. You know, like you have black pudding in the UK and haggis in Scotland and pavlova in Australia. We have boudin noir. I love them. You should eat them with the caramelized apple and bread, and makes a really good breakfast. So yeah, I put the kitchen block in. There's still things that need to be finished. Obviously it's still open, but everything is working. I need to drill a big hole for the hood. I haven't done that yet. I need to stain the worktop. I need to seal off the edges around the sink, and I need to install a gas stove. I have ordered a gas stove. I'm now just cooking on a little camping gas stove. And then still a lot to do. The fireplace, I need to get that done. And there's a lot of finishing to do. But that's all for next week and the week thereafter. Yeah, I got basically 2 more weeks to work on the house. Then I'm going for a long weekend to Montenegro to visit Nadia. And when I'm back, I have a few more days before I fly off to work. And then I need to do my accounting. I need to put everything in Excel, see what I've spent on this house, just get an idea of the numbers. Cool. Well, that's it from me so far. For this week, I thank you all for watching until the very last end. There's only, I think, about 20% who watches the whole video. I thank you for commenting, I thank you for subscribing, and see you next week. Bye now.